Oh my God, just finished watching, and that was incredible. I mean, it's kind of a mixture of like fun and exciting to watch versus really like, I don't want to be watching this. This is not Survivor normal. And these are moments where you realize that it is a game. And when it gets real like that, when you see someone losing it like that, it's weird, you know, like hearing people say, oh, how do you play with him? How do you stay in this game with him? All of that, like all of a sudden you really feel that disconnect. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think that epic meltdown was definitely a Survivor first. It's kind of unreal witnessing that for sure. I mean, Brandon is just totally insane and needs to be like treated. I don't even understand how he got through once, let alone twice. You know, I know Jeff says, oh, like, I love you and everything in that scene, but I think that was really just to calm him down. Like that, it baffles me, clearly. I do want to talk about the whole Brandon versus Russell comments that I've been seeing on my blog and my videos, and even Jeff saying, oh, is it in the blood and all of that. And I don't think that's fair to compare them. I mean, Russell was notorious, yes, and did really bad things, yes, but he was always very aware of them. It was always part of his strategy, which is what took him to the end and what I think made him deserve to win Samoa, even though he didn't. So I don't think it's fair to compare the two. Russell was always very aware, always, his intentions were always clear, at least to him, and Brandon is just, I feel like, taking it as an excuse by like going off his rocker like that, and I really don't think that they are comparable. Russell still remains one of my favorite Survivor players, purely as a player or not as a human being. I don't know if I would have liked to be on a tribe with him. Anyway, sidebar, rice and beans, like I wonder, is there like a footnote rule for that? Like, do they get a replacement? I feel like they're gonna starve, like they need something. It kind of worries me, but overall, like I thought Jeff handled the situation really well. I like the fact that they forfeited the challenge and didn't throw the challenge. I get that that's something you might want to do in the game, throw a challenge, but I think this was much more respectable and a better way of doing it. And I mean, Brandon did make it easy in that sense, but you know, by making it obvious everyone wanted him out. But still, and I like the way that Jeff, you know, made that tribal. I think the fans got a lot of information there, but they still really only knew that Brandon was on the outs of an alliance, that there was an alliance, and that Philip was somehow involved in that alliance and claiming to control it in some way. But they don't know who else was in or out on it, so I don't think they got too much information, at least based on what we were shown. I was a little worried when Jeff said, okay, this is tribal, we're having tribal now, because I don't think it's fair for the favorites, for the fans to like get inside information on the favorites, but they were already getting what they were gonna get. There was no way around that. And Jeff basically just said, you know, vote, that's it. And obviously he was right in not wanting to let Brandon go back to camp. I think that was a very wise decision, and it's nice seeing him being so involved, like trying to calm him down, saying, you know, sweet words in his ear, all of that. So I thought he handled it great. Who didn't handle it great was Andrea. Andrea, like, okay, fine, she said she got close to Brandon, and that's fine, and you did see some alliance work going on there earlier in the season, but she definitely fueled that fire. Like, I know she didn't explicitly say, oh, Philip's gunning for you, but she said, I thought this was over, and Brandon doesn't need much to get provoked, and Andrea did not do a good job at handling that. I don't think it was intentional. He kind of just showed up, and she did what she could considering the circumstances, and, you know, didn't say, oh, he wants to throw the challenge, and oh, he wants you out, but she must have made it clear, because Brandon did go back and say, oh, Andrea said you wanted me out. So I don't think she handled that great. And Philip is, he's an idiot. Like, okay, yeah, I'm entertained by him sometimes, but the way he fueled Brandon's fire was like, Philip is just as well, maybe not just, but he is very much responsible also for Brandon's meltdown like that. Everyone else, you know, knew that he was unstable and kind of treaded carefully with him, and Philip was just like, nuh-uh, like his pride was not getting in the way. And I don't know where that's gonna get him, but I don't particularly want to see Philip again after this season. So yeah. I thought Reynolds' reaction was interesting in terms of the fans. I mean, obviously this is a blessing for them, and I'm sure they were really relieved, especially after so much loss. But Reynolds was just like a little too over the top and like, oh, Jeff, can you like lift your hands up and say fans have immunity? I didn't really appreciate that reaction, and again, that goes to show that I don't think he's going to go very far in the season. But you know, he has the idol again. He told Eddie, okay, I get that Eddie is his buddy, but I don't think he's going to be very subtle about it like the first time. I think people will know that he has it at some point, and I don't think it's going to help him that much, to be honest, but we'll see. It was kind of funny seeing like everybody looking for the idol, I guess, except for Eddie. That was a pretty funny scene, which kind of brings me to what are the favorites doing? Like, we obviously know Malcolm has it, but it doesn't seem like anybody's looking for it. So I don't know, maybe they're just not showing it. That's probably more likely. Or the favorites know that looking for the idol is like shooting yourself in the foot and painting a little target on your back. Who knows? One thing that also having the idol back in the game made me think about is, like, I really don't like this idea that once you play an idol or flush out an idol or someone gets eliminated with the idol, which is essentially flushing out the idol, that another idol gets put in the mix. I feel like you should have one idol per tribe at the beginning and that's it. Like, once it gets flushed out, it's out, because otherwise, like, there's just too much going on, and I don't know, looking back at older seasons without idols, like, obviously they were still great, and I get that the idol is another twist that really does add a layer, and people like Yule and Micronesia were able to use it very well, but it's a little bit too much, you know. And there were a few seasons back there, a couple seasons ago, where the idol was just like too much, you know, like bang, you hit the island, bang, you start looking for the idol. Like, obviously people aren't doing that anymore, but still, that's my thought process with that. So yeah, well, I guess I was wrong about the mix happening this week. Maybe it was going to, but we didn't get to see it because Brandon lost it. But it's definitely happening next week, as we saw in the preview. So that'll be cool. I'm excited to see Corinne starting to play. I want to see Brenda playing. I want to see Sherry playing again. Reynolds, I mean, I'm glad Eddie and Reynolds will get another shot, but again, not much faith in their potential right now. But yeah, I wonder what's next. It's going to be hard for the fans right now, especially to be split up right after that. Sorry, the favorites. Gosh, I keep mixing them up. It's going to be hard for the favorites right now. I think it's definitely for the best that Brandon is out there, but that whole, I mean, Survivor's already such a mental game that having something like that happen to you, like, it was clearly taking its toll on Dawn, on Brenda, on Andrea, on everybody. And I think it's a really hard thing to go through, and Brandon was good in challenges, like, he was part of their strength as a tribe, and even if he's crazy, like, when you start off as a tribe in an experience like that, I can only imagine that it's like a very bonding experience, even if someone's not quite right. But yeah, I think it's a new game. I'm trying to predict things and see who's gonna align with who if things mix up, but I can't say. I just hope no one great aligns with Reynolds right now, because I think he's just gonna spoil the game for everybody who aligns with him. But yeah, so those are my 2 cents, a little more than 2 cents this episode. There was a lot to say. So, you know, check out my video if you're on my blog, check out my blog if you're on my video. It should all be in the description at the bottom of the video, and leave me comments. I always answer, and I look forward to them every week. So talk soon. Bye.